Happy Petting with Cheri Hardman. Today's guest is Jacqui Pirl. Hey, Jacqui.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I know you have a friend there. Would you like to introduce me to him or
Yes.
her?
This is Monkey. Oh,
Oh, Monkey.
hello. He's a little tuxedo cat. We don't know how old he is, but we think he's about a year old. And
Uh-huh.
he's the first cat I've ever had in my life.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you have dogs before or didn't have any pets?
Bunnies and, chickens and a horse at one time, but never a cat.
Oh, so how did you end up with a cat now?
Well, my daughter came home for Christmas last year, and she said, "Mom, I have a cat. Can I bring it for Christmas?" And my dog had just passed away last May, so it would be a year ago. May. No, not this past May. Time stands still with this
No,
damn
I
call.
know.
I don't know. Sometime. But so yeah, so Christmas she came home and I said, "Yeah, go ahead, bring the cat." And she brought the cat, and she had made the mistake of stopping at an animal shelter to just look at the animals, and saw him and said, "I have to have him." And then she came home, and her brother was here too, and we hung out. And then they had to go up to, well, they didn't have to, but they wanted to go up to Snow Globe in Tahoe. I'm in Sacramento.
Okay.
And she said, "Can I leave the cat here?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, does he have food in the litter box? It's all okay, fine, go ahead." And she left him there. And then she came back for about a week and a half. And she said her boyfriend and her were going to New York. And could she leave the cat with me while she was gone? And I was like, okay. And by the time she came back to my house about 3 weeks later, I was like, "This cat is mine. I'm sorry. You will have to pry the cat out of my dead hands because this is my cat now. I'm sorry." And she actually said, "I was kind of hoping you were saying that, Mom. You live
Oh,
alone." And I was kind of hoping that would be okay. And I'm like, yeah. So me and this cat I never thought I'd be a cat woman. I am a cat lady.
they're really nice. I know. I grew up with cats, and you get the right cat,
Oh,
and yeah.
so
So
both parents were dairy farmers.
okay,
Cats are outside animals. We never had any pets growing up at all. I mean, if you can't eat it, you don't have an animal, kind of
right.
thing. And it's just so. But I always had dogs. The kids had dogs, whatever. But this cat is something else. I like this cat an awful lot. This is my.
Does he sleep with you and that kind of stuff?
Yes, he does. Yes, I'll tell you what. My during Christmas, my son brought me. We're originally from Honolulu. I moved here about 4 years ago, and my older two kids still live in Hawaii. And so my son came back for Christmas here. Came not back, but to here.
Mhm.
And he brought me little individually wrapped like macadamia and chocolate candies.
Mhm.
And I was having a particularly tough COVID day, as some of us do, and I just didn't get out of bed. I was sitting there,
Mhm.
through food magazines and the New Yorker, and maybe grabbing a controller and maybe watching a little bit of Netflix, but I was just not getting up. And all of a sudden, this cat comes creeping in and brings me a chocolate covered macadamia nut and drops it on. I'm like, the boyfriend when you have
Oh
a
my
cat,
God!
chocolates in bed. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty special.
Yeah. We're bonding.
Yeah.
His name
Does
is
he, Monkey? Does Monkey have any? Well, bringing you candy is one. But does he have any quirks?
he likes to play fetch a lot. So rubber bands, hair ties, that kind of, I fling them. He has figured out, I put them high up on doorknobs, but he's figured out how to get those off. So I have to hide them in drawers. He likes anything crinkly. I don't know. He's
Uh,
just a cat. I've never had a cat, so I don't know. It's all new to me.
right. Right. Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
if you were going to write a review of you as a owner, what would he say?
Well, you know, for the first little while, so I got him in December at Christmas time, and then we all shut down about March. So the first little time, I'm a stand-up comic, so I'm traveling all the time. I'm not home very often. And, you know, he was used to me not being home till late at night or whatever, and now I'm home all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of Zoom shows because that's all we have access to. I've done recent things have started opening up, and I can do some outside shows and that kind of stuff. But my cat sits at the opposite end of my kitchen table where I am right now when I Zoom, and just sits there like this and watches stand-up comedy. And I've never made him laugh. Not once. He just sits there and judges me. My friend, you know that meme of the cat with the salad in front of it?
Yeah.
So I posted a picture of Monkey sitting there watching me do Zoom, and a friend of mine who's also a stand-up comic made a meme, a monkey meme out of it using those two ladies. And I'll send it to you afterwards.
Okay.
It's so funny. It's
That's
so
funny.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my cat.
So he's a comedy critic, huh?
He's a comedy critic. He's never been outside. He's an inside cat.
Really?
Well, except for one time. Would you like to hear that story?
Sure.
Okay. I had just gotten him. In fact, I think my daughter was still up at Snow Globe, and I didn't understand cats really at all. And so I have a second story lanai, or like a balcony kind of thing, and it overlooks the flower garden and stuff. And I was sitting out there being very lazy because it was COVID and I hadn't put any clothes on. And it's wooded down there, so you can't see anything. It's very private. And I thought, well, let the cat come outside on the lanai with me. What the heck? And so I'm sitting out there in a pair of underwear and just getting some sun and hanging out, reading a magazine. And I let the cat out. And all of a sudden, the cat rolled over and flipped off the second floor lanai, landed in the flower bush, and took off into the woods. And I didn't think twice. I freaked out. I went running out my front door, down back behind the house, chasing my cat. These two nice gentlemen that I'd never met before were wondering what the heck were going on. And they kind of followed me, and we ran through the woods screaming, monkey, 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 and found the cat. And I was so happy, and I'm holding my cat because I didn't, at that point, it wasn't my cat. It was my daughter's cat. Like,
oh yeah, right.
Yeah. And I came back up, and my other neighbor came out, and she has a 5-year-old daughter who's literally about ass high. And I just saw her face, and she was like, ew, and I was like, what? You know, she knows my cat. She's what the heck? And at that point, I looked down. My neighbor was freaking out, asking me if everything was okay. And I realized that I'd been running through the woods, being chased by two gentlemen screaming in nothing but a G-string.
Huh, interesting.
So my cat, I'm okay, but I think I need to move. I've literally not seen them since, and that was December of last year. Like, I'll hear them outside, and I'm like, I can't go out. I can't go out. Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, so you can run with no bra on?
Yeah, little itty bitty titty committee.
Lucky you.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. I've never felt that way. I always wanted the boombas, but they didn't come. So
hey, you can run, so that's yeah. All right, so we're going to switch over now. We're going to talk about heavy petting of the human variety.
Okay.
I always have to stop and qualify because sometimes the younger people don't know what that means. But for our purposes of our show, we're talking about anything that is dating, sex, relationship related at all, like that. So if you have an interesting story to tell us, that'd be fabulous.
Well, I am of the older generation. I had a COVID birthday. I turned 55 on April Fool's Day of this year.
Oh, happy birthday.
Petting, first base, second base, third base, and then eventually we get to fourth base. And then these new kids make up all kinds of stuff I didn't know about, you know?
Yeah.
Eating
Yeah.
ass. Jeez Louise. Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm going to tell you about my first kiss. And I think I was 12. And we used to play this game. You probably kick the can. Do you
I
remember
heard
that?
of it. Heard of
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's basically a tag game where you put, a big metal Folgers coffee can out in the middle of the field, and somebody's it, and everybody goes and hides, and then you've got to come in and run in and kick the can before that person tags you. And that's what we're doing. We're 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. And so that was in Minnesota. That was where I was childhood. And recently there'd been a story about a lynx that was kind of getting around, and people were like, get your pets inside. They were like, don't leave your kids out. And I remember it was time to go run and hide. And I climbed up a willow tree, and all of a sudden I'm halfway up the willow tree and I hear breathing like up on a branch above me, and I'm freaking out because I'm pretty sure that's the lynx in the tree about to eat me. And all of a sudden down jumps this thing, boop, lands on the bow that I'm sitting on. It bounces, and this kid, his name is Kip Patterson. He was 11 years old. I think I was 12. He says, I bet you don't know what a French kiss is. And I had no idea. I had no clue. And I was like, huh? What? And he shoved his tongue down my throat, jumped out of the tree, and kicked the can. And we didn't have people back then or anything. I still had no idea what a French kiss was. It had something to do with a lynx or no. But that was the first kiss I ever had.
That's funny. Did you tell anybody? Like your friends?
No, I probably didn't. I was so freaked out, and I was really kind of an innocent kid. So, I didn't know what had happened there. Now I have this thing called consent.
We didn't have that back in those days.
Oh no!
Back then it was surprise.
Yeah. I told this joke. I did the Savage Henry comedy festival, and I told this joke on stage where I said, back in my day, consent was just that fifth beer.
Yeah. That's good. That's true. It's so true.
Yeah. So that was my first kiss ever. Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's kind of a sweet story. I don't know.
I don't know. I could,
kind of sweet, kind of rapey, all in the same, It
was different times.
It was. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It really was.
Yeah.
What's the best compliment you've ever gotten on your naked body?
I can tell you that. And I've never gotten a compliment like this before. An old boyfriend of mine told me that I looked better. I'm the only person he knew that looked, now he was very biased, but he said, I'm the only person he knew that looked better naked than with clothes on.
Oh, that's a nice compliment. That's why you sit out there with your underwear on and yeah. Someone said that to me, I'd be naked all the time.
19 then. That was a long time ago. Yeah. Nobody's given me that compliment since. No one ever will.
That's a good one, though. It's a really good one, though.
What's the nicest compliment you've ever had?
People have asked me that on the show before, and they're surprised that I'm a big girl. They're surprised that everything's not big.
Yeah.
Nice. And then one of the guests said, yeah, it's like on the outside, this house might look kind of big, but on the inside, it's really cozy.
It's really cozy. I love it. That's great. On the inside, it's really cozy. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm married. I've only been married for 10 years, but
don't say a long time.
It is. The first year was the longest, but I'm not saying that we don't compliment each other, but all that kind of stuff is It's like, yeah, it's you again.
I know. I was married for 5 years. I know how that's
Yeah,
done.
yeah. So that's okay.
Yeah.
So besides this, what is the best thing that happened to you today?
I guess I like to cook a lot, and I saw a recipe maybe a month or two ago, and I decided to try it. So I made coconut adobo chicken, and it turned out
Oh,
smashed.
that sounds good. Well, now, what does adobo mean as far as?
It's very common in Hawaii. It's a Filipino kind of a vinegary, little bit
Mm,
tang kind of chicken. You eat it with rice. And this had coconut in it as well, and it involved simmering the chicken for a long time and then roasting it in the oven and making a sauce out of the stuff you simmered it in, and it was delicious. So
that
that was
sounds,
a
that's a good thing. Yeah, I thought I was going to start asking that because sometimes people don't have a compliment that anyone ever gave them on their naked body, and I hate to leave the show on a down note. Plus, with COVID and everything that's going on in our world, we gotta look for the small victories. So
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if the viewers want to find you, like your social media and stuff,
Okay.
where can they find you?
I'm on Tinder. No, I'm kidding.
Just hanging out there 24/7.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I am on Facebook, and it's Jacqui Pirl, but let me spell that for them. It's JACQUI, and last name is PIRL, like girl with a P. I am on Instagram, Pearl, and then Jacqui, PIRL, and then JACQUI. I am on Twitter, Jacqui Pirl. And I have a Venmo. It's Jacqui-Pearl-1. So
All right.
that's where you can find me.
Send her some bucks.
Yeah, that's right.
Why not? We should start. I should start pimping that out in every episode. I'm going to do that.
Is right up behind you on the screen, because we're not, a lot of us aren't making any money during this.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll do my best to help you out there. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your monkey with us.
Yes.
And,
thank you.
and right.
I'll send you that meme in the Facebook
do
message.
And then I can put it in. Okay.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Thank you.
What's on her mind? She's a big, big girl in a skinny woman's world. Now she's a big, big girl in a skinny woman's world. Now she's a big, big girl.